Welcome to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv. Definitely know you had a very restful night. This is a fresh day and we bring to you fresh newspaper headlines from Everfresh, Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. This morning on Freshlight, we'll be parading 4 newspapers, which includes Vanguard, The Nation, Punch, and Daily Trust newspaper. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA. Don't forget that you can click the like button, yes, the subscribe button on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio YouTube page, and also click on the notification bell where whenever we start a program it pop-ups for you on our YouTube channel. Let's go straight to the headlines this morning, starting with Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard newspaper, the leading headline has it, 10th NAS, Al-Akpabio, Abbas, flawed opponents. Also, on Vanguard newspaper this morning, governor's ignorance of minimum wage, NLC. Revenue from VAT, CIT falls 18% to 1.18 trillion naira. Osimhen arrives, 22 players now in camp on the sport page of Vanguard newspaper. Also on Vanguard newspaper, you will see this headline. Some Nigerians returns from Libya came without kidney. And NAITP is saying that NIN enrollment rises to 363.5% to 27.1 million naira in 3 years. These, among others, are headlines or cover pages of Vanguard newspaper. Going to the details of the newspaper, let's start from Akpabio who revolutionized law making in Nigeria. APC chieftain Udo. A chieftain of All Progressive Congress APC in Akwa Ibom State, Utuakong Sani Jackson Udo, has hailed Senator Godswill Akpabio over his elections as President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Akpabio, a senator representing Akwa Ibom Southwest, defeated Zamfara West Senator-elect Abdulaziz Yari in the 10th Senate President election on Tuesday morning. The other statement said the support for Senator Akpabio is a support for the South-South geopolitical zone, as they had in the past month lobbied over geopolitical zones in the country to consider the region for the position. Akpabio, who revolutionized law-making in Nigeria, APC chieftain Udo. Also on Vanguard newspaper, you will see this cover page. Nigerians abroad to Tinubu, we need consulate office in Chicago. After enduring many years of stress, traveling for distance in order to complete documentations for activities to be carried out in their fatherland, thousands of Nigerians residing abroad have demanded that the President Bola Tinubu-led federal government immediately establish a consulate office in Chicago, Illinois, United States to put a stop to these unending challenges. They added that the creation of a consulate office in Chicago will serve both thousands of Nigerians doing business in the city and the neighbors that often travel for distance to access services provided by the nation's embassy office in United States. Nigerians abroad to Tinubu will need a consulate office in Chicago. The Vanguard has the details of that story. Also on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, you will see this story on Vanguard newspaper. This one from the National Assembly. NANS leadership, Al-Akpabio Abbas, flawed opponent. After months of political intrigues, permutations and drama, the 4 candidates nominated by the ruling All Progressive Congress APC for Senate and House of Representatives leadership won the elections installed yesterday. The 4 anointed candidates are Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Deputy Senate President Jubril Barau, House of Representatives Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, and Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu. While Barau and Kalu emerged unopposed, Akpabio prevailed after a tough battle, and Abbas recorded a landslide victory over his 2 opponents. 10th NAS leadership, how Akpabio Abbas flawed opponent. Moving away from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, let's give attention to Daily Trust newspaper. On Daily Trust newspaper, you will see this covers 103 wedding guests die in Kwara boat's mishap. Rather a sad story. IGP retired MD Abubakar for renewed hope agenda. FG to introduce tuition fees in varsities. National Assembly leadership, how last-minute intrigues worked for Akpabio. Abbas. These are among the cover stories on the Daily Trust, I beg your pardon, Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Quickly giving attention to this story one after the other. Let's look at student loan. FG to introduce tuition fees in varsities. The federal government is set to introduce tuition fees in federal universities, polytechnic, and other tertiary institutions following the signing of student loan bill by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The bill, which is now an act of parliament, was signed on Monday, a development widely celebrated in many quarters without understanding the implication of the new law for the millions of prospective students who relied on tuition-free higher institutions of learning to acquire knowledge. Educationists and other stakeholders said this would have wider implications. Student loan. FG to introduce tuition fees in universities. Daily Trust has the details of this story. Okay, let's also look at National Assembly. Last-minute intrigues worked for Akpabio. Abbas. Last-minute intrigues and intense lobbying by the presidency led to the emergency of Senator Godswill Akpabio and Tajuddin Abbas on the 10th Senate President and Speaker, respectively, Daily Trust reports. The 10th National Assembly was inaugurated yesterday by the clerk to the National Assembly, CNA, Sani Magaji Tamboa, after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu issued a proclamation letter. Akpabio, a senator representing Akwa Ibom Northwest, was declared in the 10th Senate President after pulling 63 votes to defeat his opponent, Senator Abdulaziz Yari Zamfara West, who got 46 votes as announced by the clerk to the National Assembly. National Assembly, our last-minute intrigues worked for Akpabio. That is available on Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Let's quickly look at the last story on Daily Trust before going for a commercial break. Cleric urges Tinubu to prioritize security. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been called upon to prioritize the security of lives and properties in a bid to exhibit exemplary leadership. Sheikh Iman Abdul Majid Eleha, proprietor of Darul Naim, made the call during an annual special lecture organized by the Organization of Tamil Muslim OTM in Ibadan, Oyo State. While identifying the need to provide adequate security to combat disorder in the society, the scholar charged the new administrations to practice exemplary leadership, especially in this regard. Cleric urges Tinubu to prioritize security. That is available on Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Okay, moving on to the Nation newspaper. On the Nation newspaper, you will see cover pages like Akpabio, Abbas step in as Senate President Speaker. Also, financial market rebound on Emefiele suspension. How lawmakers defied parties. Let's work for our people. Tinubu urges National Assembly leaders. And also, Jonathan visit Tinubu. 103 die, 70 missing in Kwara boat accident. Akeredolu on medical leave. That is available on page 27 of the Nation newspaper. Giving attention to the details of these stories one after the other on on the Nation newspaper as published this morning. You will read these. The National Assembly turned a new leaf yesterday with the elections of Godswill Obot Akpabio, Akwa Ibom Northwest as President of the Senate, and Tajuddin Abbas, Zaria Federal Constituencies, Kaduna State, as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Okay, many Nigerians woke up to the news on the floor of two chambers as early as 8 a.m. against the expected 10 a.m. commencement time. It was learned that the time change was communicated to the lawmakers by the National Assembly bureaucracy but was unknown to many Nigerians. Akpabio, who was nominated by Senator Aliun Dume, Borno South, and seconded by Senator Adeola Olamilekan Ogun West, got the 63 votes to Senator Abdulaziz Yari's 46. All 109 senators were present. Akpabio, Abbas stepped in as Senate President, Speaker. That is available on the Nation newspaper this morning. Also on the Nation newspaper, you will see the developing story on the former CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele's suspension. The story has these details. Financial market rebound on Emefiele's suspension. The Nigerian financial market roused to a new start yesterday as investors and dealers shrugged off weekend suspension and arrest of Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Godwin Emefiele. In the first trading section after the announcement of the suspension and arrest, the market traded positively across all segments. In the foreign exchange forex market, the naira is appreciated across the official and parallel market, a correlation that usually denotes the convergence of traders and users' opinion on the dynamics of the forex markets. To read details of that financial report, pick up a copy of the Nation newspaper and search for the headline, Financial Market Rebound on Emefiele's Suspension. Okay, lastly, on the Nation newspaper, poverty shouldn't limit any child from attaining highest education levels, says Tinubu. It has riders like the President promises to commit more resources to education. Nance, some people asked us to protest, but we declined. The details of the story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday promised his administration's commitment to committing more resources to the education sector to ensure every Nigerian child, regardless of background, has access to quality education. A statement by the State House correspondent Abiodun Ladojoye said the president stressed the poverty should not be a barrier to education, underscoring the transformative power of education in combating poverty. You can read up details of that story on the Nation newspaper as published today. It has the headline, Poverty shouldn't limit any child from attaining highest education level, says Tinubu. We'll go for a commercial break, then come back to the later part of Freshlight this morning on your darling dial, Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Do stay with us.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and experts for us. Let's process and secure visa for you, say, and Canada within a twinkle of Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mall, Sholanke Street, behind Laro Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
Gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ tó pàgbàmù ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zion. House of Zion, the name I know when we share quality materials and class. House of Zion. Let's máa rojúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai, àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fawọ́ original ṣe, àwọn aago kàwákàtí ọjọ́, designer sunglasses and perfume, gbọ̀ǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ ló gbà. Mo débẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámi, èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógì gbọ́npa fashion, hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zion rà. House of Zion wà ní 50 Ọlọ́run ṣògo road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish Ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Instagram House of Zion 081656818. House of Zion, ilé ìtìlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì. Gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọ̀yì ṣoge tó bágbàmù ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zion. House of Zion, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality.
Welcome back to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. It gladdens our heart that you still out there listening to this loop. Tinubu's candidate for APC rebels, Akpabio leads Senate. That is on Punch newspaper, the last newspaper we'll be looking at this morning. Governor mourns as 103 die in Kwara boat tragedy. Also on Punch newspaper, over 25,000 trafficked Nigerian women and girls trapped in Mali. Fans crash website as GMV confirms Ida Abbas's cooking record. Ayedatiwa steps in as Akeredolu goes on medical leave. These are cover stories on Punch newspaper this morning. Okay, let's quickly give attention to one political, then go metro before we call it a wrap on this edition of Freshlight. 10th National Assembly, Tinubu's candidates floor APC rebels. Akpabio leads Senate. Anointed candidates of the All Progressive Congress for the National Assembly leadership positions emerged victoriously during elections at the Federal Parliament on Tuesday in Abuja. All the candidates who received the backing of President Bola Tinubu and the APC defeated aspirants who contested the positions contrary to the zoning arrangement of the party. Senator Godswill Akpabio emerged as the President of the Senate, while Senator Jubril Bararu won the positions of the Deputy President of the upper legislature chambers. And the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas won the elections for the positions of Speaker, while Benjamin Kalu emerged as the Deputy Speaker. 10th National Assembly, Tinubu candidates floor APC rebels. Akpabio leads Senate. That is on Punch newspaper this morning. Giving attention to the boat mishap, Kwara mourns as boat conveying 100 wedding guests capsize. Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak has expressed dismay over the news of no fewer than 100 people who are feared dead in a boat accident in Egbu village in the Patigi local government area of the state. It was reported that the boat traveling along the Niger River was carrying wedding guests who were returning on Monday morning to Kwara State from a ceremony in nearby Niger State. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary Rafiu Ajakaye on Tuesday, the governor commiserated with the families of the victims and members of the community where the accident took place. Kwara mourns as boats conveying 100 wedding guests capsize. Rather a sad story from Kwara State there. Going to the sports page on Punch newspaper. Eagles camp bubbles as Osai Samuel arrive. Fenerbahce defender Bright Osai Samuel is the last Eagle to team up with the rest of the squad for Sunday's 2023 AFCON qualifier against Sierra Leone in Liberia as he joins the team for Wednesday today training section at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. Punch Sport Extra gathered that the defender arrived at the Super Eagles camp last night and having missed 2 training sections already, will join the rest of the team from today's section before the team departs for Liberia via a chartered flight on Saturday morning. The police striker Victor Osimhen, who also missed the first training section on Monday, was part of the Tuesday closed section, having arrived at the camp on Monday night. Meanwhile, Super Eagles head coach Jose Paserio has expressed confidence in the 4 home-based players he invited to the national team for the Sierra Leone encounter. Eagles camp Berbers as Osimhen Osai Samuel arrive. The sports page of Punch newspaper has the details. And lastly, this one about the controversial chef Dami reaches 120 hours of marathons cooking. Ekiti State Chef Damilola Adekparusi, famously called Chef Dami, has finally reached the 120-hour landmark in the ongoing cookathon. This is coming barely a few hours after the record order for the longest hours in cooking individual category. Chef Hilda Basi, who cooked on a stretch for 100 hours, was certified by the Guinness World Records. The Punch had earlier reported that the 26-year-old Dami, who is passionate about her ambition, had cooked up to 101 hours on Tuesday in Oye local government area in Ekiti. Just in, Chef Dami reaches 120 hours of marathon cooking. The Punch has the details. I think I need to go for a 150 hours marathon cooking, as everybody is now a cook. Thank you for listening to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Do join us at the same time tomorrow as we'll be looking at fresh newspaper headlines one after the other. I remain OLUWAFISAYOMI AJIBOLA. Right about now, the Yoruba section of Freshlight, popularly called Ojunto, will be coming on, where we'll be looking at the newspaper pages now in Yoruba language. Do stay with us.